The draft has come and gone. Or has it? There is a special. Ooh-wee. Do we have a special treat for you guys today? Because right here, Boy Green and James Wudi, we're actually going to draft the draftees. Who are our favorites? Who are our favorite selections from Joe Douglas and company? Okay, there'll be Team A, Team B, Team Boy Green, Team Wudi right now on Boy Green Meets Wudi live.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey, don't, it's not daylight savings. I know we got a special start time, but it is still Boy Green meets Wudi. All right, Tuesday talks with your boys, and we got something special cooking up for you. Oh, I'm so excited. But Boy Green, how are you doing on this early Tuesday afternoon?
Well, I appreciate the adaptability of both my cohort here, James Gosh darn Wudi, and also all the fans going, whoa, what the hell? I thought Boy Green said 3 o'clock earlier. Well, adjust your dials, people, because we here. And hopefully you understand in the near future why the show may have been at a different time, but more on that perhaps at a future point. It's called a tease in the business, people. You're welcome. But with that being said, I think this is an interesting concept because the draft is over, to your point, over the weekend. And I think this is going to be a cool way to properly evaluate the draft with our own Boy Green and Wudi spin, drafting the draft, where we draft our own favorite players from the Jets draft class and their UDFA class as well. We're going to mix and match and throw some things together. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yes, absolutely. I believe we're doing 5 each, right?
Yes.
So there'll be 5 players on Team Boy Green, 5 players on Team Wudi, and Boy Green just said the pool, right? This is every draft pick from the New York Jets, but then the UDFA, those undrafted free agents. If any of them have answered the call, they will end up on the squad as well. And this is just a great way to kind of see what's in the mind of Boy Green, in the mind of James Wudi. What do we like? What do we dislike? What I don't know is how we decide.
See, that's what I was going to ask. So there's 2 things we have to decide. First off, who picks first? That's an important piece. The second piece, is this a snake draft or is this a fixed draft where it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? No, 1, 1, 1, 2. You understand what I'm saying? Like snake draft, regular.
Yes.
So, so answer, I guess, the second first. That may lead to the first. Snake draft or fixed draft?
Let's do fixed.
Okay. And then, well,
rock, paper. I've never done virtual rock, paper, scissors, but
okay, yeah, because I totally trust that your computer isn't behind. You're not going to be like, oh, rock ball? Yeah, but sure, I'm all for virtual rock, paper, scissors. That seems like the fairest way to duke this out. And is this one sudden death or 2 out of 3?
Sudden death. We'll do sudden death.
Oh, wow. Okay, no pressure. Okay. Okay, beautiful. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, let me establish this. Okay.
Okay.
Now, every animal in the kingdom should know these are dems to rules, but I just saw a video from The Rock where apparently it's not. So he was at some like celebrity red carpet thing, and then she said, "Hey, Rock, ha ha ha, let's play rock, paper, scissors. That'd be fun." He's like, "Sure, honey." And then they go rock, paper, scissors, and then as he's about to go again, she's like, "Oh, paper beat you." He's like, "What?" You don't go on the third. You don't go rock, paper, scissors, and whatever your hand's on the scissors is where it goes. He said you have to say something like rock, paper, scissors, go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, or whatever.
Yeah.
And she went like, nope, that's not how I play. And he got really pissed, it seemed like, during the interview. So I just want to establish the ground rules that it is rock, paper, scissors, then blah.
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
Some people even be saying says shoot. Or I've never heard three. I've never heard three in my life. So the four, yes, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay,
yes.
Shoot. So it's not shoe, it's shoot, correct?
Shoot, yes. Yeah,
shoot, not shoe. I've heard shoe, but it's shoot.
No, I got socks on today, boy. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
First overall pick and first pick of each round. Very nice. I like this fixed draft thing. So I want to establish the ground rules here so people fully understand what we're talking about. These are our favorites, okay? For whatever reason. We can have any made-up reason we want to. So I don't have to go, I'll pick an Olu Fashanu, first-round pick. Wudi? And he's like, well, in the third round, they took this guy, so that's where I'm going to go. I mean, he could have whatever rationale or reasoning he wants to, I suppose. But I'm not just going to go in order of draft. First round, this round, this round. I want to go with the ones that, for whatever reason, stand out to me. So with that being said, with my first overall pick out of the Jets draft class and UDFA class, I am taking Quantez Stiggers with my first overall pick. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And I saw there are some, to be funny, not funny, that hated the Quantez Stiggers pick. So me going first overall with the person they hated is probably going to upset some people in the audience. But that is my first round pick, and I'm keeping track of this too. Let me go. Oh, I didn't even do this is a poor excuse, a random excuse to do. I'm going to be honest. I just love the chime, so I guess I will now work that in to the production value for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, it's Quantez Stiggers. I think it's a phenomenal story. Again, it's hard to consolidate it because it is so wild. It's like a Hollywood script of like things that happened that led Quantez here, that had some tragedy mixed in, where he lost family and that sent him into this depressive state, and he got away from football and his mom got him back into the 7-on-7 fan league. He's like, what is this gimmicky piece of garbage? All right, I'll do it. And then it just kind of leads him from one place to the other, to trying out for the Canadian Football League, to become the Rookie of the Year and not being eligible for just to join an NFL team. He didn't play college. So it's a winding story. But the point is that I love the story. I love the player. If you guys haven't heard some of his interviews, so he's done an interview with Caroline Hendershot, who's the Jets team reporter, and he did local media, and he had a couple of things to say. He told Caroline, she said, well, what are you going to bring to the Jets? Quantez? He's like, a Super Bowl, baby. And I'm like, okay, Quantez. I love it. So he said, like, I want to bring a Super Bowl to the team. I already talked about it with Coach T.O., which he's talked about Tony Yoden, which he loves that. And then he promised Jet fans, he's like, I hope you guys like seeing interceptions. You're getting a lot of those. I'm like, all right. So I just love the cut of his jib. He is saying all these things that are rallying the troops. He said, I'm going to be Sauce's best friend. That's how much I'm going to be all over him. And I saw Sauce quote tweeted it, and he was having fun with it. So Quantez is just he's an interesting story. He's an interesting player. And to be honest, I think he is the mystery door of the Jets cornerback position. We'll see if they shift him to safety potentially. I know that's on the table, but from a corner perspective, DJ Reed, free agent after this year. Michael Carter II, free agent after this year. Isaiah Oliver, free agent after this year. And Brandon Eccles, 4 of the top 6 corners for the New York Jets are all set to be free agents after this year. I'm curious what the Jets' plan is. Do they re-sign one of those guys this offseason to a long-term deal, or sign them to an extension, Is Quantez the secret door? He learns from this group and then he becomes a surprise starter in 2025. A lot of questions. Fascinating player, fascinating person. First overall pick, booyah, Quantez Stiggers, baby.
I love Quantez. According to the comments that I'm seeing, they love Quantez. I don't know who you've been seeing that did not like the pick. I think we're all fans of his story, and we want to see him rise. Cream rises to the top with the New York Jets. He was number 3 on the James Wudi draft board. So that's a loss. That's a loss to my squad. I actually thought that he was going to fall to me, but right off the board. So That is perfectly fine. All right, Team Wudi, we will bounce back because my number one is still on the list. I mean, it's still available. So my number one and my pick. I don't know if do we need to
I'll keep doing it for you. Sure. You ready?
Mm-hmm. And the first pick for Team Wudi, out of this New York Jets draft pool, is the Yak King himself, Malachi Corley, the wide receiver who just happens to be all dog. He's just all dog. You know, we're talking about sound bites and quotes. And I think Corley had some of the most quotable moments after being drafted by the Jets. You know, you guys really, really want a receiver. I did not see the same need for receiver that you guys saw. I did not see it.
Yeah,
but
you made that clear. Yeah.
I cannot argue with this Corley pick. I said this to my my friends, like my high school buddies, Jets fans group chat, that in 2015, I absolutely loved seeing Brandon Marshall, right? Eric Decker, and then Quincy Enunwa was just getting all this yak with all the attention on those other guys. And I just can't help but think about Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and now Malachi Corley just getting all this yak. And he was talking about how it's so exciting because his whole life he's been him. He's been that dude. But now he's drafted into a situation where like Garrett Wilson is that dude. Mike Williams is a dog. And now he has single coverage. The boy is ready to eat all day. And I think it's time to feed him. So I think that is a tremendous pick. I think that's somebody who we can be very confident in moving forward because there's uncertainty with that position. That's obviously why, part of the reason why you guys wanted one so bad. But, with Garrett's extension looming, Mike Williams is off on a one-year deal. Alan Lazard, we don't know who he is right now. Having somebody stable who is projecting to be a big, big part. There's going to be a lot of yak this season, man. There's going to be a lot of yak, and I just can't wait to see Corley's first catch.
I'm going to be honest. In my life, I hated cats. I just want to throw this out there. That I've never really liked cats. They seem like they're always conniving and want to do something to you and like push you down the stairs or something, And recently, now I no longer have a cat, thank God. But this seems to be like one of those things. You're probably like, where the hell is Boy Green going with this story? But the one thing that you can compare with the cat and Malachi Corley is the yak king, baby. There's a little bit of that action. This is a yak that I'm perfectly comfortable with. That yakking from a cat with a hairball on my floor is not something I was for, but I am for it for Malachi Corley. So he was very high. I refuse to acknowledge or reveal where he possibly stood on my big board. Unlike you, feel free to spill all those juicy details and maybe you can unlock part of your big board that I can spy and understand. But I refuse to say where he was on my big board. But I will say he was high. Very high.
Fair enough. Sounds like he was number 2 maybe, but I don't know.
I refuse to acknowledge where he potentially was on the big board. But obviously the Jets felt pretty good about him. They traded up to the first pick of the 3rd round to snag him, which apparently, according to JD, who did some extra media today, they were trying since the middle of the 2nd round to acquire him. And just imagine how much they would have had to give up to move up that high. That would have been nearly 30 spots to move up. You wonder how different this draft class looks at what they would have had to sacrifice potentially to make that move. So same thing for Jermaine. Remember, they tried to trade up very early for Jermaine Johnson in the middle of that 1st round. Imagine, again, the price difference from the 26 where he ended up going to like 15-ish where they were digging around on him, which is very, very interesting. Okay, it's time to go back. It's time to go back to my roots here. And let's just say the pick is in. with this next pick in our Jets fantasy draft, ranking our favorite players from the class. How can I not go? There are certain schools that are known for things. Notre Dame is tight end U. They've been cranking out tight ends all over the place. There's certain schools that have certain reputations. One of those reputations is Wisconsin and running backs. I'm taking Braylon Allen right here, baby, because first off, I think he's the perfect complement to Breece Hall. He brings some Brutus beefcake. He brings some chutzpah. He brings some, low center of gravity action to the running back position. Plus, he endeared himself to Jet fans. If you guys haven't seen the tweet, I wrote a story about it for Heavy on Jets too. He said, I'm going to make sure Aaron Rodgers is playing 10 more years, baby, with my pass blocking ability, and sign me the hell up. So extra layers of protection for Aaron Rodgers. Braylon Allen, who apparently, I didn't know this till he did his interview with Caroline Hendershot. When he was recruited to Wisconsin, they recruited him as a linebacker safety. And then all of a sudden he jumped over to the offense side of the ball and he said, I'm a defensive player with that mentality running the football. And he said he looks to punish people. He wants to punish defenders. What a weird way to look at that for running backs. Great by me. Physicality, short yardage back, can alleviate some of the pressure from Breece Hall. Again, Breece Hall is a main straw that stirs his strength. This isn't a 50-50 split backfield, but I love what Braylon Allen brings. He brings a yin to the yang of Breece Hall. I think it's a perfect compliment. I love what he said about Rodgers, so he immediately moved up my big board. It was a late push in this draft process. I'm putting this big board together, looking at up and down stock, this. I went to his pro day, and I was like, okay, where's that going to affect his placement on my big board here? And that tweet skyrocketed him up the board. We had to pivot, had to adapt or die, and booyah, Braylon Allen. He goes to number 2 overall.
We never got to, or this is our first time combining forces after the draft. I'm sad. I liked, or I still do. I'm an Izzy fan. I am hoping. Yes, that is a fact. Please smash that like button, hit subscribe. But I like Izzy. Like when we were talking about Kareem Hunt and the veteran back, it was for the completion of the room, but it wasn't an indictment on how I felt about Izzy. I think Joe Douglas and the team has kind of made it pretty clear what they,
abundantly clear, very clear. I mean, they laid it on pretty thick, I would say.
Yeah. So for Braylon himself, I mean, the first player, I believe, in the NFL to be born in 2004, like literally.
That's true. He was the youngest player in this draft class. That's right.
Yeah. So that's something. But his size and his style, we'll see with them banning hip drop tackles. I feel like that is the type of player you want is, somebody who's going to initiate contact like that can't be hip drop tackled. I feel like that's something really interesting. So Braylon, come on down. And if you're going to protect, that old man that is, going to lead us to the promised land, please, we need to protect that old, beautiful man.
At all costs. So Braylon Allen, welcome to my favorite squad, baby.
Yes. So just like the real draft, sometimes there are people on your list and you say, but they're not, they're not going to fall. They're not going to be available at this point. 3 picks off the board. I was expecting somebody to say this name, but I mean, I guess I'll just add them to my squad. The pick is in. The second pick of Team Wudi, give me Olu Fashanu. Give me the offensive tackle. I mean, and I understand because it's not about who is
where they were selected.
Yeah, where they were drafted. Yeah, exactly. It's really not about that. But what I'm looking for when I made this is fit, character, right? That's why Stiggers was so high on my list. Right. And Corley, I talked about his character. Fashanu, that's another guy who, they said they keep talking about his character. And he may not be he's probably the least violent of the people that we've talked about so far. He seems like a nice guy, but he is here. He's trying to learn. He's trying to get better. He's somebody that we've been talking about even while the season was going on, right? It was Joe Alt and then our guy Olu. We had Ryan Roberts come on, bring his 2 cents to it. And when Ryan Roberts was on, who did he say? He said DeBrickashaw Ferguson. I would literally give up my left nut, excuse the vulgarity, I guess, the graphicness, but I would literally give that up bye to get DeBrickashaw Ferguson back on the Jets. I would. And if this is a second coming of him right now, then let's go. Let's get it. It's time. It's time. So that is a huge, huge win. Not only that, but there were established flaws in his game, mostly in the run game, right? He is in a situation where he gets to be in the same room each and every day with a first ballot Hall of Famer in Tyron Smith and a tremendous veteran presence in Morgan Moses. If it was just Morgan Moses, I would be bringing this up. But the both of them together, holy, this is the room for him to sharpen up his skills and not have the pressure of having to do it live in the game in front of, we are an unforgiving city, right? Not too many people were saying thank you, Makai, when the New York Jets posted that, right? We are an unforgiving city. So this is his chance to shore up all of those weaknesses with Hall of Famers in the privacy of one Jets drive so that when he does play, I think somebody is joining the Ring of Honor at least. This is a massive pick for the New York Jets.
Yeah, again, I know a lot of people are trying to get into my mention saying, Paul C, they went offensive line, you idiot. And I just want to reiterate that I was fine with whatever path they chose that wasn't a defensive player in the first round. So Olu Fashanu was if we go back to the beginning of the offseason, he was my favorite player not named Joe Alt to become a member of the New York Jets. And perhaps the most realistic of the options, because I love the left tackle thing. He could have been a top 5 pick the year before. For whatever reason, he decided to go back to school, which ends up working out for the Jets because we get this phenomenal steal, in my mind, with the 11th overall pick. So Fashanu slipped in the board in real life, and he slipped in the board in this fantasy draft of falling right into our laps. And we have now elite insurance, a first world problem. If Tyron goes down, and by the way, he hasn't played full season since 2015, so Olu. And by the way, I want the Jets to keep a left tackle. I know he said he's practiced right tackle before. Aaron Rodgers made the guard comment on Pat McAfee, if that's a way to get him on the field. I don't want any of that. Just keep doing the awesome thing you've been doing, protecting the blind side, because that's what you're going to do your entire Jets career. And that's why I want him to stay, is a left tackle on that left side. So, yeah, I love the Olu pick. Phenomenal and a great pick by you, getting him at the point in which you did here in this draft, Wudi. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and that value.
Which, speaking of, I've got my pick in. This is someone I've loved throughout the entire process, and it's a blessing. You just talked about Olu, and it's interesting. Olu gets to be in a room with Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses. So he gets to learn from the best of the best of the best. Sir, Men in the Black reference. Look that up if you haven't seen it, kiddos. Will Smith. It's a doozy. Anywho, the point is that being in that room is so beneficial for Olu because Tyron is a future Hall of Famer, and no disrespect to Morgan, but he's just a longtime NFL veteran. Maybe not to the level of Tyron, obviously, but he's been in the league a decade, and he knows how to keep his body right and be healthy. I think these are great people for Olu to learn from. My pick is Jordan Travis, the quarterback out of Florida State. Let's get a quarterback in here, slipping and sliding down the board. The future QB1 of the New York Jets. It'll probably be in like 10 years because Rodgers ain't ever retiring. He's going to stay here forever. But whenever Jordan Travis has to step in at like 2035, like after Rodgers hangs it up in like a billion years because he'll just keep winning championships and sticking around with us. Jordan Travis gets the benefit. Screw his injury. I don't care about it because he's not playing this year anyway. So just learn from Aaron Rodgers, learn from a true vet in Tyrod Taylor. It's very similar to the thing I was just talking about with Olu, and just absorb as much as you can through osmosis, whatever. Being in the room at a minimum should be able to bring all this love and attention and information to Travis. And if he's doing a halfway decent effort of actually trying to absorb information, ask questions, pick the brain of a Hall of Famer, I think Jordan Travis has a chance to be really special. Maurice Jones-Drew on the NFL Network coverage said this could be the steal of the draft, the Jets getting Jordan Travis and trading up to land him. So to get a quarterback in the third round of our made-up fantasy draft, great value, just like it was great value on draft day. Jordan Travis, the long-term QB1 for the New York Jets. Booyah.
Yeah. I know, I don't want to beat the dead horse.
That's inhumane. I appreciate that.
I like Travis.
Feels like there's a but coming. Go on. What is it? Yeah.
No, I said I like Travis.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say he is the future QB1. We don't know. We don't know.
What do you mean we don't know? Who else? Is it Tyrod Taylor at 34? Is he not Tyrod?
Why does it have to be someone on the roster right now? Why does it have to be? What do you mean? We don't
right now. That's a long-term answer. What do you mean?
Well, right now, we don't know the long-term answer. That is what I'm saying.
Okay, you can be a hater if you want to. I'm just saying Jordan Travis is going to be special.
I'm not hating, and I know it's an unpopular opinion. It's just fifth round QBs. All right. Let's see what he learned. Let's see what can happen. Jordan Love. For those of you saying we found Jordan Love, Jordan Love was a first-round draft pick.
Hey, okay. but you may not be able to make that commonality, but Aaron Rodgers helped out a Jordan, didn't he? Why not another Jordan? Huh?
Yeah. I mean, hey, should we draft Michael B. Jordan, the actor? Maybe he can be QB.
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
It sounds like from your commentary, he wasn't even on your big board. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
He was number 10.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't love the pick. Like, it's okay. Like, if they had to draft a quarterback, fine.
Up by Wudi there. It was probably the guy. Oh, I think we got him back. Go ahead, Wudi. Sorry, we lost you. There's probably the football gods not agreeing with that take, and they just threw you out, which I don't blame.
Hey, if the Jets had to pick a quarterback, I think that was a pretty solid choice for this year for the quarterback. But I've been literally saying for months that I'm not trying to, draft this late quarterback and then have all these people try to tell me that, oh, we found the successor. I've been saying that since the beginning. Now that the successor, now that the player's been drafted, I'm not changing. I think they should definitely look. They said, what did they say? What did Joe Douglas say? He wants to build a QB factory, factory. So we brought in Jordan Travis
on the line. This is the first product on the line.
Yeah, and there's about to be another one. So I don't know which one. Which one is going to be the long term? Could be product 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So,
just go with your next pick, pal. Everyone hates you. Go ahead.
Okay. My next pick is in. This is another thing that I've been saying for the last few months, right? That I'm not changing on.
Okay.
Is the importance of that front four. Okay. The front four on the defensive line. Quinnen Williams, love him to death. Hassan Reddick, absolute mercenary. Jermaine Johnson, let's get it. Javon Kinlaw is cool. But Leonard Taylor III, surprisingly undrafted. He was expected to be drafted. He was widely considered the top of the heap of the undrafted free agent pool. And Joe Douglas just takes him from that top of the heap and adds him to the New York Jets. I have seen it with my own eyes. So you guys are still in the comments talking about, oh, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. I have never seen any of that. I have seen this regime with my own eyes take undrafted talent and turn them into people that can get paid tens of millions of dollars by the Philadelphia Eagles. Let Leonard Taylor III be the next person on that list. Well, hopefully to get paid by us, though, not the Eagles this time. But let him be an NFL starting caliber player, all right? Let him be the guy that is the fourth in this front four. I'm not saying this year. We don't know, right? People develop, right? Bryce, wasn't defensive rookie of the year. It was a slow burn, but I really, really like this addition, and I really, really trust this coaching staff to develop that type of talent and that type of the position. They say in his scouting report, he has the physical tools. Technique is lacking. His tape is up and down because of technique, and that is the exact thing that this coaching staff can do, is teach technique. They cannot teach him to grow his arms out any longer or to become 2 inches taller. He has all that. They are teaching him the technique. So bring it on down. That is my third pick of the Team Wudi squad.
And we dip into the UDFAs. Again, we talked about that. It's the headline of the video as well. We're ranking our favorite players from the Jets draft and UDFA class. And hell, the Jets have a rich history with UDFAs recently in this Joe Douglas regime. You go to Tony Adams, you go to Bryce Huff, go to this past year, Xavier Gibson, Jason Brownlee. There have been paths for guys. And then you could go beyond that with waiver wire guys like John Franklin Myers and, Quincy Williams and things of that nature. And plus, kind of in that same vein, to Wudi's point of why he had him high on his list, and for good reason. Boy, if you're going to trust anyone on this staff to develop talent, it's 1,000% the Jets defensive staff. Michael Carter II is arguably the best slot in football, and I hope they give him a long-term deal. He friggin' deserves it this offseason. Quincy Williams gets that deal. Development. He was cast aside from Jacksonville. What a scrub. Jets sign him. People were like, just an older brother of Quinnen. Doesn't mean anything. And look at him coming up with his own name. So I'm very excited about this. Plus, to your point, they didn't dip their toes in the draft. There's no long-term option here at defensive tackle not named Quinnen. You got a lot of one-year mercenaries of Solly, Solomon Thomas, Likey Fotu, Javon Kinlaw. Who is the long-term guy? And to your point, they may be going to you for that answer to that question. But okay, I love the pick. I can't lie. I was high on my list. But
High.
High. Relatively speaking, I guess I'm already 3 picks in and he wasn't selected yet. So high-ish on the big board. But since you broke the cherry on UDFAs, let me drop some knowledge on you, young man. Let me drop some knowledge. Okay? There is a UDFA, and I will say the name, and you're going to give me who? There'll be a lot of who's going on. Like you're part of the New Day. Might be getting some who's going on. Like there's some owls in the audience. But there's a name that I want to highlight here. His name is none other than Pee Wee Jarrett, baby, the quarterback prospect that the Jets have added to the rotation. I just wrote an article about him earlier today. It's on the Heavy on Jets page. Y'all can check it out if you'd like. His name is Byron Pee Wee Jarrett, and he had a fascinating journey to the New York Jets, and he's an interesting player for a lot of reasons. I'm going to tell the backstory in a second, but here's why it's important, because you may be going, Paul, signed some random-ass quarterback at the end of April. How does that have any impact on the Jets? How did that even make your top 5? Well, here's the thing. Think about the construct of the quarterback room. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years of age. He's turning 41 in December. He's coming off a torn Achilles. I don't know how much work he's getting in the spring. We have rookie minicamp, which should be on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming up later this week. So you have that. So that has nothing to do with the veterans, though, but that's the rookie minicamp. Then you're going to have OTAs and then the mandatory minicamp in June. But how much work is Aaron Rodgers getting? I'm going to be honest, I have no idea. Go to Tyrod Taylor. He is 34, will be 35 later this year. How much work is he getting? I don't know. Jordan Travis, he had a disgusting, gruesome, I'm not resharing the video, but you guys can go see it if you'd like, leg fracture, and his return to full football activities is shooting somewhere in the July training camp range, according to both Joe Douglas, the GM, and Jordan Travis, the player. So all of a sudden, I'm like, if you guys were doing those who's earlier, my who would be who the hell is throwing around the football for the next couple of months? and that's Pee Wee Herman, baby. Oh, Pee Wee is going to be the pick here. He's going to get plenty of action. Older Pee Wee Jared, he's got a fascinating backstory as a guy that played at a community level college program, and then he transferred over to West Florida University. And he was if you've ever seen the movie Longest Yard, you have that scene with Chris Rock. They're talking about the star rating system, and Chris Rock was a half a star. He said, a half a star? What the hell? Because, you could judge and rate recruits from anywhere from 0 stars to 5 stars, and Chris Rock was a half a star, which was this funny bit. Well, to be honest, our boy Pee Wee here was a 0 star coming out of high school. He only had one JUCO offer, completely overlooked. He had injuries. He had to leave the game of football because of the passing of his grandmother. There was just a lot happening in his life. And then he returned to the game of football, dominated at a lower level. That was Iowa Central Community College, where he's named a first-team All-American. He makes the jump over to, West Florida, and he becomes the first quarterback in that program's history to throw for 5,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards. So he's put up video game numbers. He's a winner. He's won a conference championship. He's won 20 games as a starter over the last couple of years. And Dane Brugler even wrote a little bit about him in the B. So, if there's a quarterback-driven league, you have no quarterbacks left on your board. So screw you, pal. That's better for my list. And also, because Pee Wee, it's a great story, and he's a sneaky name that's going to be getting a ton of run through the spring and the summer. And I just want to bring up one more thing that I bring up in my story. Chris Strevler, when he was signed in 2022, is this journeyman rando. Zach Rosenblatt wrote in his piece when the signing happened. He went, Chris Strevler, just a camp arm. Don't think anything about it, Jet fans. That's what he wrote in his piece. And, of course, he had the crazy preseason, and he changed his football destiny and extended his football shelf life. So you never know. Right now, it's labeled as camp arm, whatever you want to call it. But all you need is an opportunity. All you need is a chip at the table at a poker tournament to turn your whole life around. And I'm rooting so hard for old Pee Wee here, baby. And Pee Wee is going to get a chance to make some noise. And he's number 4 on my list.
Wow. Pee Wee. QB1, long-term option for the New York Jets.
See? Huh? Maybe you overlooked him and you were talking too much garbaggio about Jordan Travis. Maybe he's our QB1.
I wasn't talking garbaggio. I'm just saying, who knows? It could be either one. Either right now, they're at the same spot. They're in the same place.
Possible. I've got one last pick left, but you have 2 picks left.
Yes. Well, I mean, we're fixed. We're out here. We're fixing. So I will go with my next pick. It's in.
I would just say this draft seems fixed because I'm kicking your ass right now, but that's neither here
Are
nor
you?
there. It seems fixed from that perspective, like you have no chance. But anywho, you said the pick is in. Okay, here we go. Proceed.
The defense is what wins championships. And the New York Jets spent a lot of time during the actual draft looking at offense. But I see they immediately, with the UDFAs, were like, we need to look at that side of the ball. All right, I already highlighted, I think, the top of the heap, but we're not too far below that is a guy, a second-generation NFL player. All right, his dad was in the league. Now he is doing his
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Not him. Not him. No, not Brandon Rice. No. No, not Chris Jenkins Jr. But give me Jackson Sermon, the linebacker. Okay, I'm not even sure what school he is from. California. My God, I don't even know. But
the disrespect, that's Aaron Rodgers' college, pal. That was Deshaun Jackson went to Cal. Watch your mouth, sir.
So that's I'm saying I didn't know at first, but now I went to the tab. But so now this is perfect. This is perfect. Now Aaron Rodgers is probably looking at him. All right, like, hey, alum. All right, here's that respect. But what I like about him, right, is they talk about him having a knack for getting around blocks, right, being a consistent tackle finisher, which is going to be even more important in this post-hip drop tackle league. But that linebacker position and you guys roasted me. You know, when I picked Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I lost sleep over it, but he was slipping. He was slipping and sliding. The Eagles got him in like the 5th round. The Jets, I would like more long-term solutions, and I know you're probably saying, what do you mean? They just extended C.J. Mosley. Quincy Williams is here. Both of them will be free agents in 2 years, right? There's 2 years. That was the extension. That was what Quincy, signed that deal. It was a 3-year deal. He just played one of it. So I'm just looking, I like Jamie Sherwood. I think that's a position that Saleh really connects with. He liked Chaz Surratt. I think this is somebody who has excelled already in special teams, somebody that can elevate himself higher onto the depth chart in such a key position for this New York Jets defense.
Wow. Okay. That's fine. That's dandy. It's a whatever pick. That's fine. I mean, he didn't even know what school he went to, but I guess
He's better than Pee Wee. I'll tell you that right now.
That's TBD, pal. That is TBD. As I look at your board, it looks a little Pee Wee to me, but that's neither here nor there. But I guess, yeah, that's right, Mitch. You don't get into Cal unless you're smart. True.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm out here picking geniuses, and you out here just picking, I don't even know.
See, Pee Wee likely had an offer from Cal. He declined it because he wanted to go to West Florida. I can't confirm or deny that, but I'm pretty sure.
And that qualifies as a smart man? I don't know.
Okay, hey, pal. All right, if you told me right now, Paul, you can go to any school you want, Cal or West Florida University, I think we all know what I'd pick, okay? I think we all know. I think we'd all know. Well, I'm going to wrap up the draft by dipping my toe, and you will notice there is one draft pick I'm leaving on the board. If you want him, God bless. And to be honest, it's really sad because it has nothing to do with the player. The last draft pick that's available for the Jets for either of us to select, I'm choosing not to because the pick was just very confusing, and I don't understand it. Like, the player's fine. If that's would have been the player instead of Braylon Allen, okay, there's a compelling case, but I can't, by principle, select that guy in my top 5 favorites since I complain so much about it. So I'm afraid not. So I'm dipping my toe back into the UDFA waters for this. What the Jets need is a championship mentality because that's what the Jets plan on doing this year, is hoisting the trophy. So they need someone that has had practice hoisting trophies. So my next selection is none other than Braden McGregor, the edge out of Michigan, who just hoisted the national championship on the back of that wonderful defense. Now, he's a guy that his fullness of his career has not been tapped into yet. He only has 7 career sacks, 15 TFLs, okay, and 26 solo tackles during his career. So he didn't really get the full opportunity. Over the last 2 years is really where he began to kind of grow in as a junior and a senior. This year he played in all 15 games. As a junior, he played in 14 games. So he's gotten a lot more opportunities as of late. And surprisingly not, all of a sudden his numbers have started to jump once he's gotten opportunities. So this Jets team, you can never have enough pass rushers. And this is a guy, by the way, who is in Connor Rogers inside his top 301. He had Braden ranked as his number 243 player, which is a draftable player he had slipping here to the Jets. So another value add here. You can never have enough defenders. The Jets feel that way passionately. And with JFM gone, I should have put the ghost of John Franklin Myers somewhere on this list. Not sure how that didn't crack my list here, but there's going to be opportunity to make a team. There's a path to a starting roster, draftable player, national championship defense, a lot of potential here. I'm going with McGregor.
Not Connor, though. Not Connor.
No.
That is a really good pick. I was actually expecting to pick him with this pick. But you have the oversight of a century. So I guess I'll just pick your oversight. The pick is in.
Oversight. Do tell.
This man, Boy Green, I mean, it's just disrespect. That's the only way you can put it, is disrespect toward this player. He's talking about, oh, there's just one player left on the draft board. Oh, I can't pick him. Well, maybe he is irrelevant to you, but Mr. Irrelevant damn sure is not irrelevant to me. Give me for the last spot on the squad for Team Wudi. Give me Mr. Jalen Key. My Lord, Mr. Irrelevant is here. He about to be better than Brock Purdy. I don't care what Boy Green says. Overlooking him. Doesn't even remember he exists. Doesn't remember he exists. Talking about some other running back that's not even going to matter. While Mr. Key is on the squad, give me him all day. Safety, he might elevate. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, I trust his defensive staff to just develop their talent. This is another guy. I already said this before about having physical tools, but not necessarily having technique. I was talking about Leonard Taylor III. That is another way to frame this Jalen Key addition. And yes, I do trust the staff to take this man and mold however they need. So will he even still be a safety? We don't know, but I trust them to put him to be the key that unlocks a new level for the already dominant New York Jets defense. My apologies.
That's okay. Two things here. First off, you're right. I totally forgot about Jalen Key, which is hilarious, which is very fitting for Mr. Irrelevant. We do, unless Robert Saleh is lying, I suppose. So Robert Saleh, after the draft, said they plan on keeping him at safety. I know over the last couple of years, they've drafted safeties to linebackers and linebackers to safety. He said their plan is to keep him at safety, and despite the slow 40 time, which is as late as he was, ran a 4.640. They say his tape speed, is much faster than the clock 40. So they believe they got a steal of steals, and we'll see if that is indeed the case. But LOL, totally forgot about Jalen Key. And the thing I do love about forgetting about Jalen Key is I love that defense was so mitigated to the final two picks of this draft that there was a chance for me to forget it. Because if they took a defensive player early, there'd be no way we could forget it. So that part is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that defense wasn't relegated to just the end. That's something that I've been saying, but I know everybody, the offense looked terrible last year, right? The defense did not, so that's what all the attention is on. But usually when you do stuff like that, then the bottom of the defense kind of falls out, and it's like, now why didn't we pay attention to the defense? I think planning for the whole team as a whole is super important. I mean, we don't want to be a situation where we're now one injury away on the other side of the ball because they've stayed relatively healthy. So just law of averages, I would imagine somebody is going down eventually, and do we have the depth on that side? For a couple positions, I would say yes, but for the majority of them, I would say no.
Hey, by the way, I see this in here. The Jets Afterburners podcast say, "What's up, Paul? My dude, Wudi. Wudi's coming on tomorrow night. Maybe guest appearance by the great one himself, Boyd Green, 8 or 9 p.m. Full out invasion. Let's go." And I see a bunch of banana emojis, which, by the way, I must fully maximize with a future T-shirt. Wudi, you're going to have to handle this one by yourself, which is why I'm at the radio station right now, for people who don't know. I work with the Syracuse Mets, who are the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets, and we work together, and I do all their games during the week. So I am unavailable. But I will tell you, Jets Afterburners podcast, you're in wonderful hands. Wudi is amazing with me. He's halfway decent by himself. So, you've got not too shabby. So I'm sure he'll do just dandy. I'll be keeping an eye on that podcast, no doubt about it. It's Wudi. Wudi deserves to get some spotlight. I'm the Breece Hall to his Braylon Allen. He's trying to get some ops, trying to get some reps. There's not a lot to give. But you know what? When you get a few ops here in preseason week 3, you got to get them when you can. So Wudi's phenomenal. I wish I could, but now over the next bunch of months, that's why I'm here at the radio station as opposed to being at home in my home office as I normally would be. And a lot of people have reached out, and that's a flex too. Oh yeah, a lot of people reached out for me to be on their shows, and why wouldn't they? Okay, I'm phenomenal, obviously, but why I'm here at the radio station is all the people that have been reaching out. I apologize, will not be able to hop on a lot of podcasts at night because that is when I'm doing baseball games. But I appreciate the Thought Jets Afterburners podcast and everyone else who's been reaching out recently and lately. Unfortunately, with my schedule, I am unable to. But the good news is again, you're in halfway decent hands with Wudi, my guy, and he's spectacular. So you're in good hands, pal. He'll do a solid job.
Yes, Liam, I'm excited to yell and scream and be super excited because there's a lot to be excited about. And I'm sure you probably will have some things to say about my Jordan Travis take. So I'll be ready.
Oof.
I will have my shield and my helmet for all the pellets that are hurled my way.
I have one request. I hope he really grills you on your Pee-wee takes. That's what I want those. I want this man bent over the barrel about the Pee-wee takes. That's what I'm looking forward to. That I am.
Nice.
Spectacular.
Nice.
Well, Wudi, I thought this was a fun way to do it. We had wonderful draft coverage for months, doing mock drafts and all kinds of other fun stuff. Which was really cool. And real quick, Mitch, Packers signed UDFA from Syracuse. Do I know anything about him? Who was it? Which UDFA did the Packers sign? Let me know, and I'll give you a nugget about him because I did cover Syracuse football here in town, so I can try to give you something on it if you give me the name before we sign off here momentarily. But Wudi, back to you. I really enjoyed all our draft coverage. I think this was a cool way to kind of course, we'll be talking about it because we got rookie minicamp coming up over the weekend, and there'll be other draft-ish kind of things of talking about these young bucks over the coming months, no doubt about it. But I've really enjoyed the coverage we've been able to put out and stuff like this where we can uniquely kind of talk about this draft class in a different way than anyone else is doing.
Definitely. I mean, you want to talk about unique New York Jets coverage. That whole synonym is Boyd Green right there. That unique New York Jets coverage. So what we're doing right now is super exciting. It's been a treat to pre-cover, during, now post, like you said. And these teams, I want to know about these teams. All right, people in the comments, let me know the teams just to reiterate, and maybe we'll get something going on Instagram or Twitter, but just to reiterate, Boyd Green squad of young boys, all right, of Pee Wee boys. Quantez Stiggers, right, who is tremendous. All right, Braylon Allen, okay. Jordan Travis, all right. Pee Wee Herman? What is his name? Pee Wee.
His name is Byron Jarrett, but he goes by the nickname Pee Wee. I'm not sure the story on that, but I'd love to hear why.
Okay, so Jeff Jarrett, Conor McGregor. Oh no, you didn't say Conor. Sorry, Braden McGregor, the edge rusher, versus the real squad of draft picks and UDFAs. We're talking about Malachi Corley, the Yak King. All right. Olu Fashanu, the next to Brickashaw Ferguson. Leonard Taylor III. I don't have anything cute to say after that.
LT3.
Oh, my God. That was a missed opportunity right there.
That was.
Jackson Sermon and Mr. Irrelevant, the legend himself, Mr. Jalen Key.
That I literally forgot. We did a full fantasy draft, and I forgot. I forgot he even existed, to be honest. He seems like a nice kid, though. I've heard some of his interviews so far. Seems like a nice kid. And hell, we were talking about all these UDFAs, just a nugget on him. He's going to have a chance to make the roster. Unless the Jets sign some veteran safety that we're not thinking of Simmons or Diggs or something like that. I don't think the Jets are signing a safety tomorrow. That would surprise me. If it happens, awesome. I'll be wrong, and I'll eat my L. But I don't believe a safety's coming unless it's Adrian Amos style. It's June, July, and somehow big names are hanging out there, and they're like, all right, I'll sign for a half-baked can of beans to play for the Jets. Outside of that, I don't anticipate it. And if that does not happen, if you were on the other side, I think that's a really unique way for him to make the roster potentially. And Jalen Key.
Definitely. I'm definitely anticipating him. That's why I drafted him. I don't really draft winners, so that's literally what I'm trying to do. I did not. I had second pick, so I didn't have the opportunity to draft a winner like Quantez Stiggers. But everybody else, I was able to draft because that is the winning squad.
Well, it's nice for you to get some winning in your life, Woody. It's probably been a while, but hey.
Have you seen my Knicks? Have you seen the Knicks? All right, they about to close out this series tonight. You're talking about haven't seen winning.
This series is over. They're closing out the series. The 76ers are whining all over the place. It's pathetic. They're folding like a cheap suit, and MSG is going to be friggin' wild tonight.
Yes.
It's just unless the 76ers can quiet the crowd, which I don't anticipate. And I saw Joel Embiid miss shoot around earlier with a migraine. He's going to have a lot of migraines tonight at MSG. We're suiting up, so no. And then I love the next matchup if they get. I'm getting ahead of my britches here, but you get the Pacers in the next round. I like that math. All of a sudden, you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, one series away from the NBA Finals. You gotta love it.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Yeah, the winning. I'm telling you, Knicks are up. Jets are up. Life is up, baby. Even my cholesterol, everything going up, boy.
Oh, good Lord. By the way, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the readjustment for people that may just be tuning in right now at 3:00 going, oh, wow, phenomenal. Can't wait for the show. Sorry. Show's over. So we gave you about an hour. You guys can always rewatch it, though. We are streaming live on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25, Twitter @BoyGreen25. You can rewatch in either of those places. I think on Instagram you can only watch it live, so sorry for our Instagram folks on the James Wudi. But either of the other platforms, feel free to rewatch them as you can with any episode. I've got a playlist on my YouTube channel for Boy Green Meets Wudi. You guys can check out all of those episodes and feel free.
Yes, appreciate you guys. And we will see you next time.
God bless. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure the 400 people like the video, hit subscribe down below. We appreciate you. God bless. Peace.